days out of that one being done. How do you assess it? How do you go with that?
Yeah, we assessed it, moved on relatively quickly. It was a short week, so we didn't get the red eye out. We looked after each other, so we come together, we spent a bit of time together. We thought our spirit and our fight was fantastic. Our execution, taking the opportunities, was at the lower end, made us a bit vulnerable, and learned some lessons out of the last quarter. Their big men got going, which we've been a little bit small either end for the year through circumstance, but you know, we can learn from that. There was a couple of really clear things to come out that we could have handled a bit better. So yeah, we've seen that learning curve, but obviously, you know, Hall's playing, young players are starting to step up alongside our senior players. So we can keep doing that, we'll keep improving.
And just looking back again, that youth was so impressive. Alex Tarrant was a standout among other guys. How did you see the young guys?
Yeah, just what I said, like, you know, everyone's, you know, but we're all got a desire every day to get better, right? You got to come in to get better today. I've got to get better, the coaches. We're a club that needs to get better, and we're off the pack, but we're fighting hard. You know, we've got a strategy over a period of time that we're pursuing, but in the near time, we want to win lots of games of AFL footy, and the ultimate lesson is 3 quarters doesn't get it done. 3 quarters against Collingwood, 3 quarters against Fremantle, albeit spirited and some good signs. We're looking to chase 4 quarters down, so that would be the aim this week.
Taru sounds like he's becoming a bit of a cult figure already. The guys out here saying they've got thousands of Viking helmets and stuff.
Yeah, right. It's a low bar in AFL footy, isn't it? 14 spoils. It used to be 14 goals. So no, we're excited by Alex. The best thing, he's very level. He understands he's only as good as his next moment in training and a game. Max Hall's another one that's really starting to grow, but at the end of the day, you come up another fierce, formidable opponent, and he'll know he's alive. So the challenges keep coming, but it is exciting. We can't deny it's exciting to see Kilda catch and kick those goals. Naz, Owens, Wilson, Garcia was really good after a 4-week spell, and that's probably the point. I mean, if they're not playing senior footballers, it's like you think they're not being developed. They're really strong clubs, when they've got strong teams, allow the young players to develop in the right habits. In the VFL competition over a period of not weeks but a couple of years, so Geelong's been able to do that. So fortunately, unfortunately, our young players sometimes, you know, get exposed to the brutal reality of AFL football too early. So we're trying to strike that balance with all our young players.
Cutting ties with Sandringham.
Sorry?
Cutting ties with Sandringham. How heavily were you involved in those discussions?
No, I'm just a senior coach. It's a background, it's a cultural piece, it's a development piece. Ultimately, we want players to pull on the Saints colours. And if you look around the league, would be one of the last bastions, or the very last bastion. So I think it's a really culturally positive mood. It builds on our social capital within our club, right? Bricks and mortar. There's more mortar going into place.
AFL cracking down a bit on the umpire contact. What did you make of that?
Trying not to buy into it too heavily. Robert Harvey met with the umpires last week and had a good discussion. And then Brad Scott, who's been involved, I think it's both parties here would be, and I don't think fines are the solution on anything. I don't think I've ever fined a player in my life to get discipline or an action, right? So I think ultimately it's all about education and setting a framework. So I think there's some, and most of it occurs in the centre square bounce. So there's a little bit about where do you, I think the debate from players and midfield coaches with the umpiring fraternity and the powers that be will be, what's the right exit and protected area? Because I think the ball drops 95% off the ruckman's chest, so should you be in that area or the other area? I think that's a debate, but it's not my area of expertise. It's easy to dive in there. So, but it's a bit like when the game got stopped on the weekend. If the principle is player health and safety, it's the right thing to do. So if the principle is, and we know it is, umpire health and safety, it's the right thing to be doing, but it's probably just finding the right solution.
Brad Hill was an important player that missed last week.
Yeah.
We expect to see him against the Hawks.
He'll train today, so we're optimistic.
And Zane Footy as well. He's been dealing with that pec issue.
Yeah, that was a significant issue, a torn pec. I think it's been 12 or 14 weeks, so he'll train today. I think he makes himself available next week, and it's a little bit earlier, but he's hit all his milestones. So yeah, we've been a bit short with Howard and Cordy out, but you know, Caminiti's been exposed down there. It probably just makes us a bit short at the front end with Max, Howard, but everyone gets injuries, right? We're pleased with our competitive spirit. We're pleased with some development of our youth, but we're pleased with 3 quarters, but we'd like to play a 4-quarter game against a formidable opponent.
And Dougal Howard, you mentioned him there. How far away is he?
Yeah, someone said to me yesterday he's 2 weeks, but our rehabs tend to go really smoothly now, but he's the only one that's had a slight reoccurrence, so that was disappointing with some scar tissue. So, but he's held together really well. He's a really good leader around the place. The boys love him. So, but importantly, we've got a milestone this week. Dan Butler, who's been a significant contributor since crossing from Richmond. I'm sure a lot of his close friends, and he's really close to our captain Jack Steele, and that will be pretty keen to show the respect they hold him in with a strong performance.
Do you use those things as motivation rematch, milestones?
Oh, look, we certainly talk about it, and emotion doesn't get it done, right? If emotion got it done, you'd be winding them up like tops every week. So it really is, you know, you bring your respect that you have for him and show it with your effort. Yeah, so we'll honour him, and we'll have pre-game, and his parents will be in the rooms, and we'll have a presentation like we did for Sinclair. So it's really important culture that we mark those milestones, because he's given a fair bit.
There's a report this week that you are, as a club, a bit more confident that Wanganeen Miller will stay. Have you had any indication?
Yeah, no, I think that's just an opinion piece. Opinions aren't facts. No. Look, I just stay in the next moment. I don't take any for granted. I don't take tomorrow's sunrise for granted personally. So we'll leave it with Maz and our list management. But what we are doing is playing good football. We've helped develop him. We've got strong ties with the family, Naz himself. So hopefully it takes care of itself.
As confidence grows with Naz, as confidence grows with maintaining Naz and keeping with the club, is there a world where you bring in DeConing and keep Wanganeen on?
Yeah, look, I'm really busy. Now we're getting into list management. So, look, I leave it to the experts. We're a club and I hear every coach talking about it when they fly in and they meet with Oscar Allen or they're talking to people. You'd be disappointed supporters be disappointed if we're not in the marketplace. But the first charity begins at home, right? So we're trying to get Naz done. Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
Happy to help.